sorcery fight! Stay drug-free.
Hey guys, Austin here, what's going on?
Does anyone remember 4Kids? It was a children's programming block that was a staple in mine and many other households, birthing young weebs across the US. Starting as Fox Kids in the 90s, later rebranding to the Fox Box before becoming 4Kids TV in 2005. This block was responsible for classic anime dubs like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Sonic X. It also housed some other notable anime titles, like Digimon, Shaman King, Tokyo Mew Mew, also known as Mew Mew Power, and their now infamous One Piece dub that was done before Funimation took over the dubbing task in 2007.
That was a really great nap!
4Kids was notorious for their censorship of the original Japanese material. A lot of content was removed or altered to fit the broadcast requirements for children's shows of that time, such as weapons and blood, drugs or alcohol, and sometimes notable plotlines altogether. Also, to better market these shows to an American audience, it was decided to change things like characters' names and even the original soundtrack of the show. While 4Kids was not the only company to do this, their name, mostly because of their treatment of One Piece, became the one most associated with this censorship treatment. On August 18, 2012, 4Kids TV concluded its run, due to conflicts between 4Kids Entertainment and Fox, as well as the ongoing competition from big children's channels like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. I grew up with these shows, and as sacrilegious as it seems to think about the butchering that was done to some of them, I have a big ol' nostalgia soft spot in my heart for them. And for some bizarre reason, kind of miss their over-the-top voice acting and catchy theme songs. Which arose a question in me, one that I'm the only person in history who's ever cared enough to ask. What if 4Kids still dubbed anime today? Which is the whole idea behind this video. I thought it would be fun to experiment a little and give you a taste of what it would look like if 4Kids took on a popular title from today's anime charts. I want to take a show and make it significantly worse by giving it poor dubbing.
Oh, I will not do this. I cannot. Oh, what a foul way for a bird to die.
Censorship, and new names music in a similar vein to the way things were done back then. But which of the most popular anime in recent memory would they have chosen to dub? If I'm completely honest, it would probably be something like My Hero Academia. But that just seems too easy. I want a One Piece situation. I want something that would be way harder to censor due to its violent content. So while a few titles popped in my brain, I decided on Jujutsu Kaisen. But why did I decide on Jujutsu Kaisen? Because I did. That's all I got for you. To start things off, I think it's best to establish what exactly I'm doing here. To give you the tease I'm hoping for, I will present 3 things by the end of this video. A redone theme song and background music, a regular talking scene from the series to showcase the hokey dialogue and acting, and an action scene for violence censoring purposes. So to complete this ridiculous task, I have to follow a checklist. Number 1. Localize Japanese names. Starting with the title Jujutsu Kaisen, if I'm coming at this from the perspective of someone who is trying to localize this series for American children, this title sounds too foreign and isn't easy for kids to pronounce. A quick Google search tells me that the direct translation of Jujutsu Kaisen is sorcery fight. So easy peasy, that's what I'm going with. Now to character names. Like briefly mentioned before, 4Kids had a history of changing the characters' names to different ones. In the dub of Pokemon, Satoshi became Ash. In Shaman King, Manta became Morty. And in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Katsuya became Joey. You get the idea. But for some reason, some names were left untouched, like Seto Kaiba for example. It's really weird that some were altered and some weren't, but it's something to keep in mind. For the clips I chose from the show, I only need to worry about 3 characters having name changes. I could go the extra mile and change all the characters' names, but that would be pointless and a waste of time. First is Yuji Itadori.
That sounds too dadgum Asian,
is what I assume the suits at the company would say. His first name, Yuji, I think could easily be changed into Eugene. Sounds pretty heroic, right? And his last name isn't as much my concern, so I'm just going to use the generic Smith as a placeholder. So now meet the protagonist of Sorcery Fight, Eugene Smith. Next is Satoru Gojo. What I could see here is the decision that while Satoru is too Japanese, Gojo is a simple name that rolls off the tongue easily. So they would drop Satoru and just call him Gojo. The final character is Megami Fushiguro.
Now what in tarnation is that name?
I always loved the fact that some of these Japanese names were ridiculously unrecognizable to their Japanese counterparts. Like the aforementioned Joey Wheeler, for example. His original name was Katsuya Jonochi. So to follow this way of naming, I'm going to give him something generic, like Mike Fisher. We'll go with that. Number 2, a new theme song and soundtrack / sound effects. 4Kids is surprisingly known for its banger openings. Sonic X, Shaman King, Digimon, and obviously the OG Pokemon theme that lives rent-free in all of our heads. While my first instinct is to aim for something akin to the so bad it's good One Piece rap, rapping is not anywhere near my wheelhouse.
Hey yo, traffic, looking for my chapstick, feeling kinda caustic, there's a poor maverick.
And while as seen by the One Piece example, the rap wouldn't have to be high quality, I still foresee it taking way too much time to create a beat that suits even one of the lyrics that I can come up with. I was thinking maybe something along the lines of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening. The song is a nice vibe that suits the show well and is momentarily interrupted with,
It's time to do.
I have zero music background, so making my own tune is pretty much out of the question. So instead, off I go in search of a copyright-free song that fits the tone of Jujutsu Kaisen and one that I can tinker with to make it my own. For whatever reason, I could see this show being marketed as a spooky type show because of a lot of its darker atmosphere and such. And the first thing to come to mind with spooky is Halloween. So a search for non-copyrighted Halloween music leads me to the Infraction YouTube page, and it looks like they have a song titled Halloween. Now I don't want to strip this song and just use it as is without any tampering, so I'm taking it to a website where I can add a bit of a beat to it just to kind of up it because the bigwigs at 4Kids would probably want to make it sound quote-unquote hip for the kids these days. So some tinkering with some different sounds on a website called Soundtrap has given me at least a version of what I'm looking for. Now to transfer it over to Audacity where I'll do some further tweaking. Stick around because you'll hear and see the final product at the end of the video. As for the soundtrack music, I think I'll use some non-copyrighted tracks. They should do what I need them to, nothing fancy. One thing to note about the way 4Kids did things is there was an effort done to make sure every second of footage had music playing in the background. To my knowledge, this was a way of keeping engagement. It was believed that kids would lose interest if things were too quiet. We have music, now we can't forget sound effects. I would just need basic cartoon sound effects for actions. I'm just finding and downloading these through YouTube as well. Number 3, a cheesy script and voice acting. Okay, so real quick, while researching for this video, I found something amazing. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anti-drug PSA from 2003.
I wouldn't be the world's best duelist if I smoked marijuana. It would disappoint my friends and lower my concentration.
I am now obligated to make one for Jujutsu Kaisen. To get back to the script and voice acting, the 4Kids dubs always had their actors ham it up with just about every line.
I'll use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan.
That is hands down the best line ever. I stated earlier that I do plan to do a talking scene and an action scene. I think it's best to keep everything within the first episode of the series. So what better talking scene to follow up the opening than the first scene of the series, which is Itadori waking up to Gojo introducing himself. And for the action scene, what's probably the most notable sequence in the first episode is when Itadori eats Sukuna's finger while Fushiguro watches in horror. Now it's all about watching both scenes and rewriting the dialogue, basically changing the lines to be more kid-friendly, but also making sure the new censored dialogue fits the mouth movements of the characters as best I can. This writing process is not that interesting to watch, so I'll move on quickly to the fun part. First, to determine what voices we are using for the 3 characters we have here. Eugene. He's the protagonist. His voice should sound like a young hero. Something similar to Sonic the Hedgehog I think fits best. Sorcery fight! Gojo. Something that was hilarious but sometimes baffling was when in shows the characters would be given a random accent. Never the most accurate, but always fun to listen to. And sometimes even head-scratching as to what they were going for. So I think Gojo should have an accent. Maybe like a British accent. Not one that's spot on though, we gotta keep it in line with the other shows. My name is Gojo. I'm one of the heads at Sorcery High. And Mike, I'll just simply give him a deeper voice, something to hopefully differentiate it from the other 2 voices.
Huh? No way! This is incredible!
Number 4, censorship. The 2 scenes I have chosen have some blood that need to be taken away. The speaking scene just has a little on Itadori's chin, and the action scene has multiple instances. To achieve this, I'm using a simple mirror trick on DaVinci Resolve on the Fusion page. And also, I've decided to turn Sukuna's finger green because the red fleshy color looks very gory. Alright, now that the last box is checked, there is only one thing left to do. Get into the mindset of the 90s and early 2000s. Grab your favorite bowl of cereal, and get ready to watch your favorite Saturday morning show, Sorcery Fight.
4Kids TV is the place for high-speed action.
High seas adventure.
The kick-butt capital of television. But if you thought 4Kids TV couldn't get any cooler, you don't know Joe.
G.I. Joe Sigma 6 is reporting for duty.
Let's do it. Don't miss all new episodes on 4Kids TV. Saturday mornings at 7 on Channel 7.
Sorcery fight! 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 Good morning. Where am I? This place is so weird. So which person am I talking to now? Do I know you? My name is Gojo. I am one of the heads at Sorcery High. Sorcery? Where did Mike go? What's happening again? Huh? My hands are tied? Why would you do this? I understand your concern, but Mike Fisher is safe and sound. Eugene Smith. Hey guys, Eugene here. You know me as a powerful sorcerer. With the help of my friends, I can take on some of the biggest monsters you can imagine. But one monster that us at Sorcery High would never dare to cross is marijuana. Drugs can not only drain my sorcery power, but it can also disappoint all my close allies. I must stay healthy and say no to marijuana if I'm to continue being the best sorcerer I can be. Because a fight with drugs is a fight I know I'll lose. Be like your pal Eugene and stay drug-free. This finger may not look very tasty, but I need maximum power to save everyone. He ate the cursed finger? Not even the strongest sorcerer can take that kind of power. I don't think so! No way! This is incredible! Eugene Smith, who are you?
And that's all I have for you today. Let me know down below if you'd like to see more of these. And if you'd be so kind, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.